The Walt Disney Company is known for a lot of things, but giving out freebies is not one of them. Amid declining summer crowds, Walt Disney World seems to be getting desperate. And because of that, they're offering free hotel room stays and park tickets. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Prices at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida continue to climb higher than even the temperatures in Central Florida. However, the once premier, peak summer months are no longer the huge crowd destinations that they once were. It looks like the summer months have now kind of become the value season, and Disney is starting to shift its strategy accordingly. We're now seeing them give more than they've ever given before. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Walt Disney World offering 2 free hotel nights and park tickets during peak times in new summer deal. Let's have a look at what this is from Cham Lee on thatparkplace.com. Walt Disney World Resort in Florida has introduced a new summer vacation package promotion that offers free additional hotel nights and theme park days for certain bookings. The offer is part of a suite of seasonal deals for travel in 2026. Under the arrangement, guests who purchase a select Walt Disney Travel Company package that includes at least a 4-night hotel stay and a 4-day theme park ticket can receive 2 extra hotel nights and 2 additional theme park days at no additional cost. The offer applies to visits most nights between May 26th and September 15th, 2026, and bookings must be made between January 6th and February 15th, 2026. Eligible packages must be booked through Walt Disney Travel Company and include both the minimum hotel stay and ticket component. Guys, this is pretty insane. Mm-hmm. You get a 4-night hotel stay, that becomes a 6-night hotel stay.
Yes.
And 2 additional theme park days for free.
This coincides with a Cool Kids Summer and the water park freebie on check-in date, which runs May to August of this year. If I'm not mistaken, May 6th to August 26th, maybe September 26th. I need to double check. But it coincides with all of that. But what are you going to do? So you got 4 nights and then you get the 2 additional nights. So that's 6 nights, 7 days. And what people don't realize is they're pushing all this construction. So they're pushing you to go to the parks, even with all the construction. I think the only park that's not that much under construction is Epcot, right? It doesn't have that much construction going on. But you have your after-hour extra magic hour events that run from like 5 p.m. to like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. So that's happening this year. And I really think not only are they desperate to get people in the parks during the construction, but they really want to push that Cool Kids Summer thing because the kids are eating for free if you purchase the dining plan, ages 3 to 9.
That's another thing to point out. Not only getting 2 free resort days, 2 free park days, but children under 10 eat for free.
Yes.
Okay, but we're going to cover another story related to that and talk about how choice is being removed.
Yes, absolutely. But culture, when have you ever seen the Walt Disney Company give any hotel night stays away for free?
After
free's not a word that they know.
After the Twin Towers came down in New York,
they did a free thing there.
Yeah, and
that makes sense because we had a national tragedy and nobody wanted to fly.
Nobody wanted to fly, and nobody was paying for travel. So, look, I'm not ashamed to say it. There was a point in time where, during the course of 1 year, I visited Disney World specifically, 17 separate occasions.
Wow.
Oftentimes for 3 to 7 days on many of those trips, and I was also beta testing Magic Bands at the time. So I was getting Legacy Fast Pass and the Magic Band 3 Fast Passes per day. Mm-hmm. So, you could double up back then, by the way. Let me just say that this is what Disney does when they're desperate. Your use of that word is accurate 100%. The minute, in fact, you and I talked about this on an entirely different show, where the minute the dining plan is thrown in with hotel stays, Disney's empty. They don't have the bookings they're looking for.
It used to be every year back in the early aughts, the early to late aughts, where around September, October, you used to get the dining plan for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
you
that.
could count on it. And I remember when they stopped doing it, people were livid.
Yeah. And again, this coincides with when Disney decided to abandon their customers, their regular park goers. This practice coincided with the elimination of perks, and it started slow at first and then got super Paul Pressler style under Chapek before he took over as CEO. They stripped away things like the Magical Depressed and other experiences like that, and immediately changed the entire tenor of a trip to Disney World.
You don't you don't even get daily turn down service anymore at these expensive hotels. I can
No,
get daily
mousekeeping.
turn down service.
Mousekeeping is absent your entire stay, even if you're a DVC customer. For the most part, you will get 2 visits at best during the course of the week if you're a DVC person.
I can get daily turn down service at the Best Western on Earl Bronson Drive. Like it's like I can't believe. By the way, Universal has followed suit on that. They don't do daily turn down service yet.
No, they don't. I was just going to bring that up. There's a lot of resorts that are not doing it. Like even the ones that are off property, but like in the vicinity, like Evermore, they don't do that. And there was another one, Margaritaville. Gosh, we've stayed at so many. The Gaylord Palms does not do it anymore either. It's just like I don't know why they're copying this.
Disney starts it, and then the rest of the the rest of the mall,
the industry thinks they can get away with it. And again, it's like it's the same thing with
it's why I said that the Netflix switching to the 17-day theatrical window is going to kill theaters, because once Netflix does it, within 5 years Disney will follow suit.
Comcast is already ready to follow suit on that. And I mean, a lot of the people I know on the inside of the industries are talking about that, and that's why having Netflix take over Warner Brothers Discovery would be a disaster for the film industry, especially if they still wanted to make money making movies. So
I think we're forgetting also, somebody did mention it in the comments, a lot of it has to do with like budget cuts after COVID and all that, because they got rid of so many people. I don't think they just have enough employees to do that. Like Marvin was saying, the housekeeping, that turn down service and all that. I really think that plays a huge role. They got rid of like a lot of hardworking employees.
If you look around the country, there's mimicry of this. So we'll talk about vacation destinations. Let me just bring up one. Las Vegas. Las Vegas followed Disney in every single regard, including resort fees and paid parking. The minute you started to see people being charged for parking, and especially at a hotel resort location, the minute you started to see a lack of, interstitial transportation, I mean, Disney went out of its way to make it less convenient to visit their parks. It's one of the reasons why if I didn't drive, I get a rental car at Disney World, because there's no way I'm going to come to rely on their bus system, which is quite trash at certain parts of the day.
I can't stand the bus system.
Yeah.
I hate the buses.
I like going on the buses. My hubby hates it too, just like you guys. But I love
because
the bus.
dudes are always the first ones that are expected to stand up when the bus is full, and I don't like doing that.
That's probably what it is.
I see these kids sitting down in seats, and I'm like, your knees are brand new.
Yeah, like move for the older people.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
But the I could never in my life remember seeing them doing something like this. Like you said, culture, only after a national tragedy. And it has been a huge tragedy for Disney, though, this last couple summers. This summer, I mean, other outlets, not just us, we started the ball rolling on covering how empty Disney was over the summer, especially for the 4th of July and Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend. It was a ghost town, and more outlets started doing that by the end of the summer, referring to the summer as a ghost town. And with this summer coming up, with 3 out of the 4 parks going to be behind mostly construction construction walls,
Yes.
they're probably desperate to get people in. And the other factor that we always have to talk about whenever Disney starts to look desperate is the Epic Universe factor. The fact that they have increased competition now, and it has an entire Epic Universe by this summer will have an entire year of operations under its belt. So they're going to have to really try hard to keep people in the Disney bubble, and that's where Disney makes its money, is to keep you in the Disney bubble. That's why they picked you up at the
and
airport.
they did a good job about it, because I love being in the Disney bubble. Sometimes we will go and not do any parks at all. We just want to go stay at one of the resorts, spend time at the pool, eat at the restaurants, because the dining in the pools at some of these resorts are really nice. You don't need to go to the park to have a good time. You could go to the boardwalk, you could use the water taxis. There's so much to do, but I think people are so focused on, I got to get in the park.
Well,
I can't stand it anymore. It's like,
and this is why Disney made it so easy to get around. It's why they used to pick you up at the airport for free. They didn't want you renting a car, because if you can rent a car, you might go to Universal. You might go to the Space Coast and go to the Kennedy Space Center.
And guess what? The minute Disney started to make it more inconvenient and more expensive to stay on property, I utilized my vacations to go to the Space Coast, to go to Cocoa Beach, to look at condos to buy. I used the opportunity, to look around Claremont to see if I wanted to buy a house there. I used the opportunity to visit Universal. I went to SeaWorld. I went everywhere they didn't want me to go because it wasn't that hard. Once I had a rental car for $40 a day, I could haul around my family everywhere. I could get a rental van for $49 a day and haul the entire extended family about. And did it regularly, because once we had that freedom, Disney lost a boatload of business, especially in food. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're about to lose a lot more money in food.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, they rolled back so many of the perks after COVID. And then another trend I've noticed since COVID, families are not afraid to stand up to their school systems, parents, and say, screw you, our family comes first, and we're going to vacation when we want to. And I've kind of been noticing a shift here since COVID, where schools, there's a bit of a fight, a tug of war between schools and parents are standing up to school systems and saying, we don't care, we're going to vacation when we want to. We don't want to deal with the heat and the crowds, because it's still stuck in a lot of people's heads that Disney is just so full of crowds over the summer and in the heat. And they're like, no, we'll just. And COVID kind of brought a sense of, we're not promised tomorrow, more family time. There was this, we were forced to actually pay attention to our physical relationships with our families. And we were forced to pay attention more. And since then, there's been that shift, and it's still lingering. You couple that with Disney scaling back on their quality, making things more expensive, reducing perks. So it's like, no kidding, Sherlock. They're desperate. They've done this to themselves. And meanwhile, Universal didn't really do much. They just kind of maintained their operations as normal pre-pandemic, after the pandemic. And they've been doing fine. On top of that, building a brand new theme park. So, I mean, Disney, and just the sheer stupidity and the lack of common sense gets under my skin like you absolutely wouldn't believe, because you have people like us, and they're paying attention, they're listening to us, they just don't care. And it's so irritating, because it's like, I just want to choke you and just,
I love a good Erica rant.
Oh yes, and if you want more of that, Erica, you should announce Friday.
When you get fired up, Erica, I just kind of sit back and just let you go, because it's phenomenal.
Okay, the Ren and Stimpy clip goes through my head where he's like, "Stupid, you idiot." Well, yeah, That's exactly what you are. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop here because now 3-4 letter words are gonna start coming out of my mouth.
That would be bad. That would be very bad. So let's not do that on this channel. But guys, this summer in Orlando, Florida, there's going to be a new term flying around the theme park sphere: Desperation.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.